Welcome, everyone. This is the Good Friends P-Cast.
Like, cut. No, I'm kidding. Okay.
Doesn't that kind of sound like a gross, some kind of like pornography genre P-Cast?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it sounds like people who are into golden showers, like a non-stop stream, pun also intended.
That'll be the last time I refer to this as the Good Friends P-Cast, so...
Wait, historic. The first and the last.
First and last.
Time.
Today is the day that will live in infamy, the P-Cast.
You know how it is.
Anyway.
we should erect a statue of us putting a flag in a stone with a little stone stream of pee coming out.
Yeah, it'll be like a little, right, just a little...
An homage.
Yeah, a little memorial for this, I don't know, horrible day?
For the nickname.
I don't know. Anyway, episode 2 of the second season.
Episode 2, Volume 2, Episode 9, Series 1.
I don't want to get into the chronicling thing again because that confuses everyone. Let's just say Season 2, Episode 2, boom.
Sounds good. Boom.
2015.
Welcome to it. 2015's looking good, feeling better.
Still kind of working some kinks out. 2015, sometimes I still am writing 2014 on my checks.
Are you really?
It happens. It happens to everybody.
You know what? It's a journey. It's a journey that we're all on.
Right.
The amount of wasted binder paper from my youth of me like ruining the date, that's a rainforest.
Yep.
It's a rainforest.
We're getting better.
A lot of upper right-hand corner mistakes through grade school, if you know what I mean.
Right.
Living.
Right.
We digress.
Rod, we digress a lot. That's kind of a theme.
That's the theme of this P-cast, if I can drop that once again. Homage.
Right.
Remake.
Right.
That was quick.
Throwback.
What is this Sunday?
This Sunday is the Super Bowl.
Bow, bow, bow. What number Super Bowl is it?
Super Bowl 49.
Oof.
So I don't know how many X's and 1s and V's that is. It's a lot of them.
It's a lot of them. I think when you get that high up, there's like a new letter. I think they throw in like an L or something.
The next one, 50, is going to be L.
Oh, that's right.
50 is
right.
L.
Super Bowl L.
Right.
XXL is going to be the funniest one. And I'm very excited for that one.
I think XXL's already happened. Oh, there's been...
You're right. That's 25.
There's been, yes. Anyway, this is very confusing, and the Roman numerals thing escaped me as soon as I left Mr. Ito's 4th grade class, so...
Wait, should Good Friends Podcast start maybe adopting the Roman numerology
Just
to the title?
Anytime that we have to drop any kind of numerals, no Roman numerals in here, except for Good Friends Podcast.
Yeah.
Only Roman numerals.
Only no Roman numerals. I can't wait for Good Friends XXL.
Right.
Reporting live from Tommy Bahamas.
Soon we're just going to be speaking Latin.
Oh my god. I'll speak pig Latin because I won't understand.
Anyway, but yes.
But this Sunday,
Super Bowl 49, Patriots versus Seahawks.
Hell yeah.
The league's two best teams, 2 number 1 seeds. They are coming to a head this Sunday in Arizona.
Oof. There it goes.
But, Rod,
voice. Tell me.
Instead of talking about the game...
Thank God.
You know what we've been talking about all week?
What?
Some deflated-ass balls.
Not the first or last time you'll be hearing that phrase.
Some underinflated balls. That's a common theme this week, man.
I want to throw up. Tell me everything. I have been avoiding everything about this on the internet in the hopes that you would fill me in. It's now or never.
Okay. So here goes. Deflategate. That's what they've dubbed it.
Hell yeah.
All right? So, last episode, I kind of cued everybody in, you especially,
100%.
About the championship games. And we mentioned how the Seahawks game was amazing, right?
Right.
That was very exciting. And then I kind of just gleamed over. I said,
the best games you ever saw.
Right. Right. But then... when it came to the Patriots game, I kind of just gleamed over it, and I said, oh, that was really boring. It was a blowout. No one cared. How wrong was I? Because this is the only thing anyone's ever talking about now. Deflategate. So here's what happened, okay?
Yeah, tell me. Tell me why the best game you ever saw was not once uttered this week.
This is what happened. All right? So the Patriots, they're in the middle of shellacking, killing the other team, the Indianapolis Colts, okay? It's like,
Love.
They're up by like 3 scores. You know, it's obvious they're going to win. Okay?
Fine.
Then, halftime of the game. I guess the refs check. They kind of maybe got tipped off. Maybe someone said, "Oh, hey, you should check their footballs." You know, maybe
Oh my God.
they're cheating
During the game,
during the game. There
Snowden?
maybe Snowden. Maybe it was Edward Snowden. We don't know.
Okay.
So,
Don't know. We don't know if it's not him, so it could be him.
we don't know. Could be him.
Okay.
Reporting from Russia. The referees check the balls, okay? Each team supplies their own balls, right? So the Patriots show up at the stadium with their balls. They have 12. The other team shows up with their own balls. They have 12, okay?
That's really cute.
Every single time one team is on offense, they use their own balls.
Okay.
All right? So the refs,
Okay.
they're checking the Patriots balls, and what do they find, Rod?
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
They find that 11 of the 12 footballs have been underinflated by 2 whole pounds. Each.
2 pounds?
2 pounds.
Wait, my jaw's actually dropped right now.
Yeah.
Is this at halftime?
This is at halftime, okay? So you know what they do?
What?
They confiscate the balls. They say,
yes.
you guys have to use regularly inflated balls. This is no bueno. And then in the second half, the Patriots go out and they score like 20 more points, and it's like a total blowout still. But anyway, the big news is that people are speculating that the Patriots have been using underinflated balls since like 2007.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
That's what they're saying, that this isn't just a one-time thing?
People are saying that the Patriots have been doing this ever since the league adopted a rule where you're allowed to provide your own balls for your team.
How have they gotten away with it for so long?
So the Patriots, I'm not sure how many sports fans we have out there that are listening to this. My guess is not a whole lot.
Not a whole lot, but you know what? I'll say your side of the street, a good number.
Right. But anyway, if this wasn't the Patriots, see, because they have a reputation of being kind of sneaky little snakes, right?
Okay. Oh, do they really?
They do.
Wait, why?
In 2008, they were caught recording other teams' practices, something that's very illegal.
Oh my God.
They got caught doing that, so they got in trouble for that. So
Wait, hot. Is there locker room footage?
there's no locker room footage of the fucking.
Okay. Anyway, move on then. Not
No,
significantly less interested.
there's no Mark Sanchez weighing out there on the internet anywhere. I'm sorry. Okay.
This doesn't sound like Snowden anymore.
No more.
This sounds like an amateur.
This is Bradley Manning. Chelsea Manning,
Chelsea.
sorry. Anyway, so the Patriots have this track record of kind of being sneaky little snakes. They get caught with underinflated balls, and all of a sudden it's this whole thing. Because if your balls are underinflated, that means it's easier for you to throw, it's easier for you to catch, and it's not as easy for you to fumble, which is obviously a big deal, right?
Right.
Because fumbling,
The ball is because your grip doesn't take as much skill to grip it.
It doesn't
it'll
take-
form fit to your fingers.
and if you're really strong, that's harder to pry out of your hands, right?
Yes.
And a lot of football guys are what? Really?
Hold on. Strong.
Yes.
Yes. Wait, should I do a 30 for 30? I'm getting it.
I think so. I think you're getting there.
It's my time.
Bill Simmons, we got to get him to subscribe first to this podcast. But
You definitely. I mean, with the knowledge, with the growth you're seeing in me as a sports fan,
yes,
how could you not be interested?
right.
But in any case, wait, I have a question. I
Right.
have a question before we go any further.
Shoot.
How, after the security breach that is like the recording of their practices or whatever and the lack of locker room footage, how were they not automatically under like a watchful eye? Like, how have they been able to go this long potentially with Deflategate happening?
I mean
Like, why haven't people been watching them?
the problem with the NFL, right? It's like it's an organization made up of 30 owners, right? Each owner owns a team, and they pretty much make up an organization, okay? So there's no real, like, governing body, right? So, like,
Okay.
when an owner for the Patriots who's a very influential guy within the NFL kind of gets in trouble, maybe his drinking buddy, crazy billionaire friends who also own other football teams don't really mind that much.
Ooh.
Or they realize that the cheating that the Patriots do isn't that uncommon with every other team in the league. It's just they happen to get caught.
So what is the NFL? It's not a governing body. There's no one doing checks, balances.
It's kind of like there's supposed to be the commissioner, but he's employed by the owners. So
God, wait, that's such a conflict of interest.
It is a very big conflict of interest. He's supposed.
Is that a joke?
It's. I mean, have you been paying attention to how terribly things have been going for the NFL this year?
Oh, you bet your
The Ray Rice thing.
Totally. No, now it all makes so much more sense. I'm about to literally Snowden the shit out of the NFL.
You might have to.
So much locker room footage for starters as a hot little appetizer. And then maybe in a couple years I'll get to the good stuff.
You'll get there eventually, right?
I'll get there. Give me time.
Right.
I have 48 years of locker room footage to leak to Deadspin first.
The cheating will get there, but first,
we'll get there.
Some butt.
Some quick butt action. They'll concuss the shit out of each other in the meantime. I'll be dead by the time I get to the actual meat of the story. I'm getting pissed off.
So anyway,
this is just further proof that that football is going to become a fringe sport like boxing.
Yeah, that's what everyone's kind of predicting in
because
years to come.
Because you have rich people dictating who's winning and
losing. Plus, it's kind of like one of these things where it's like all these guys are getting concussed, and like there's so many examples of like players coming down with post-traumatic stress, symptoms and murder suicides happening, and it's kind of it's insane. So it's crazy. It's so insane.
You know what would help? A quick shower in the locker room.
Some locker room footage.
Some locker room. Yeah, don't worry about the portrait with the holes in the eyes.
Right.
Like just take a shower right in that locker room.
Some locker cam.
If you see a red light coming from the wall, don't worry.
You need to make sure. Yeah, you should talk to the commissioner and kind of suggest that they install locker room security footage, and then you should 100%. Go and get trained to become a security officer.
Oh my God, loud and clear. I'm gonna wear the top of a dirty mop for a wig.
Right. Pretend you're a woman.
Yeah, I don't have the money to really throw in for a good wig, so I'm just going to do a dirty mop head. But I'm going to walk right in, say, security commissioner for football here, allow me through.
Mandatory pat-downs.
Like, sir, we don't have time for this. I need 8 hours in a single file line.
The whole...
If you have a problem, take it up with my boss.
That'd be great. I would absolutely support you in that.
100%.
That'd be great.
Sounds really efficient.
So anyway,
once again, we digress.
We digress a lot. And so, these guys are running around with underinflated footballs. Statistics have pointed out that since this rule where you can provide your own footballs to every game has happened, the Patriots have been fumbling at a much lower rate than everyone else. So it's kind of like, the statistics show that you guys have kind of been having an advantage somehow, and
it's in the numbers.
It's in the numbers. You got caught for cheating before, and so really, this is the crux of the issue, right? Because if this has happened to any other team, it wouldn't have mattered. This would not be a story. But because it's the Patriots, and because the head coach is kind of this cantankerous curmudgeon, and it's easy to hate him.
Great alliteration there.
This has now become a story, and it's not going to go away.
I'm livid.
Yeah.
Good sportsmanship is the one thing I can hope for with these games. That's it. That we're at least playing decent by the rules. Otherwise, it's a literal waste of my time.
Yeah, I mean, you still can tune into Katy Perry. It's not going to affect that at all.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to the Super Bowl, I'm just watching for Katy Perry, and the rest is like the bread around the sandwich.
The rest is the locker room footage.
Yeah, I'm just going to interrupt the feed, and it's going to be like an anonymous moment, and it's going to be an anonymous mask with a dirty mop head.
Right.
The following is locker room footage. That's my anonymous message. Not super articulate, but it gets to the point.
Right.
I can't believe this. This is crazy. So is nothing gonna happen? They're not gonna like have a regame or something?
And
'Cause
this
the Super Bowl's this Sunday.
No, they're not going to regame. There's no do-overs. They're probably not going to suspend anybody. And part of the reason that this keeps being a story is because the NFL and the commissioner of the NFL, Roger Goodell, is so bad at handling these kind of breaking news stories that require action and kind of like top-down clarity from everyone in the organization. And instead we're getting reports like, oh, there was a locker room attendant who like took the footballs into this room for a certain period of time. Maybe he's the reason that, the balls are underinflated. And it's like,
Wow.
it comes out 2 hours later that he was just peeing. He just like took a quick bathroom break. He was in there for like 30 seconds. And
That's so insane. They're just looking for anyone else to blame.
yeah, I mean, we'll see. I'm interested to see Gisele's take because kind of people are starting to put the blame on Tom Brady.
Why?
Because
He's such a good boy.
No, but because like he's really the one who uses the football every single play. So really it's kind of up to his specifications for how he likes it. You're allowed to doctor the football a little bit and like wear it in because every one of them is new. And playing with a new ball, a lot of guys don't really like doing that. So they kind of have locker room attendants scuff the ball up to make it, better for him to use. And the head coach doesn't really... Some people think that Belichick, the head coach of the Patriots, might have had something to do with it. Other people don't. But Tom Brady's really the guy who touches the balls every time, every play. Every time he is on the field, he has a football in his hands. So
Yeah, I'm starting to think he's prime suspect number one.
Plus, his head coach didn't really do anything to get his back. They had a press conference, and the head coach was like, "I don't know what happened. Ask Tom."
Wow, threw him under the bus.
Yeah.
Wow, you know what I think we need? Some LRF, locker room footage.
Right.
You heard me.
My idea of the locker room, what I think that you're expecting from the locker room footage is like a bunch of big, beefy, burly football players gathered around, and they're not doing anything explicit, and maybe they're sharing some kettle chips.
They're smacking each other with each other's towels and going, tee-hee-hee, pass the kettle mesquite barbecue.
Right. That's what I am imagining that you want to see.
100%. And you know what? The public needs to see it.
Right.
The public deserves to know.
Right.
This is anonymous. Okay? This isn't a joke to me.
So
Honey Dijon.
it's been this super annoying story, and like it's frustrating because this should be a really exciting Super Bowl, but no one's talking about the game. Everyone's just talking about these fucking underdeflated balls.
Totally. It's gonna cast a shadow over the whole Super Bowl. Do you think announcers will keep mentioning it?
Abso-fucking-lutely they will.
Hell yes. This is the narrative I need to keep me glued to that TV, baby.
And part of the reason why this has been such like a funny thing to follow is because every single time there's been a press conference like to talk about this, people just end up saying the word balls over and over again.
Literally like you have been doing.
Balls. Just balls. Like I like my balls a certain way, just the way they feel in my hand.
The one touching the balls.
I like to squeeze them and make sure they have just a little bit of give, not too much.
Wait, I need a supercut on YouTube yesterday
Of
all of the best.
just of Tom Brady saying the word balls.
Yes. Janet, heard of Final Cut Pro? Okay, great. Step 1.
Get it up on the Tumblr, Janet.
For the last few days, get on it. I need a video up yesterday. You're late already. Just thought of it, but you should have thought of it first. We're the talent.
Yeah.
Am I coming in loud and clear?
Right.
Sorry. I'm sorry to do this to our listeners, but sometimes a message is a message.
Right.
Brutal. Well, this is gonna be crazy. I can't believe it, and now I'm literally voting against them. Voting. Wow. I don't know how sports work. I'm rooting against them for the Super Bowl just because of that. Because I definitely think they're lying.
It's actually the way they do it is kind of like a live tweet. You got to use a hashtag Patriots, hashtag Seahawks, and then that's how they decide the game.
Oh, great. Oh, really? Great.
On Twitter.
So it's a total social media campaign.
Yep.
Okay, Janet.
That's how football works.
Gonna need you to create 18 different profiles on Twitter for me so we can do a simultaneous tweet each time.
Right.
I need them down. I want them dead.
Right.
Maybe Giselle's the one who deflated the balls. Like, Tommy, can't lose this one. I just imagine her, like, using her fake nails to, like, poke through each ball so a little air goes. And she's like, hee, 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 hee. That Boston penthouse will remain mine. Like, crawls into, like, a sewer gutter, like, back to her house. I know that piece of garbage is the one behind this. I'm pissed.
Yeah. So that's the, I don't know. That's pretty much the skinny. I could get into some more details if you really are interested, but it's just...
Wait, is there more drama, or should we save it for a post-Super Bowl breakdown next week?
We can do a post-Super Bowl breakdown.
So I feel like it's crucial.
Right. So that's Deflategate. Some people call it Balgazi, which I think is pretty funny.
My God. Pun Twitter is lit. I love the incredible way that the internet takes political events and just uses that. Like, I love that. You know how, like, for a long time it was, like, blank gate?
Right.
Like, it was always, like, a Watergate pun. I feel like Benghazi is, like, the new one.
Right. Balgazi.
Like, I'm obsessed. Balgazi, like, I'm obsessed. I love that. Well, speaking of stupid, brute masculinity, I saw American Sniper this week.
Oh, no.
And, oof. Mama didn't like.
After your very shocking take on snipers that went viral across the internet, and you had people kind of retweeting, you know, your take and getting mad at you. There was a Slate article that they wrote about, what did he mean? What did he mean?
Yeah, why we need to talk about Rod and cowardice.
Right, so...
Kelly literally, like, chopping up a cucumber and blending it and saying to the public that this is who she wished I was and wanted to kill me on air.
There were even reports...
I stand by what I said, and apparently so does Michael Moore, because he literally said the same thing a few days later.
That's hilarious.
Which is a real twist. I don't know if I need him at my table, but I'll take it.
Right.
Look, I saw American Sniper and loathed it.
Whoa, loathed it.
Okay, maybe a little intense. But I'd really like to deflate that film, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
Sports joke.
Joke.
Have you seen it? You haven't seen it.
I have not seen it, and I don't plan to see it. No offense to American Sniper fans.
I don't know where to start. Like, I just really couldn't even handle this movie. It's just so beyond my comprehension as to, like, why we need this film. Like, obviously not a huge stan for snipers over here. Like, they're not exactly my, like, One Direction or anything.
Right.
So already going in with, like, a little bit of a bias. But literally this movie is just, like, so problematic. Like, not even just on the level of, like, race, because I don't even know if that's, like, a worthwhile topic. Because I think any film that documents the Iraq War is, like, doubtful if it's gonna, like, paint Iraqis in, like, a human light. They're literally called savages in the movie, which is, like, so dark, but, like, okay, whatever. And, yeah, the entire movie, like, rewrites the Iraq War narrative. Like, we see Chris... Wait, should I say what this movie's about?
Just do it. Just do it.
So, two-time Oscar nominee and former co-star of Alias, Bradley Cooper, plays Chris Kelly. Is that his name? Chris Kyle? I don't know.
Did your research for this one. Just blaming Janet. Janet, I need facts in front of me because I have bad short-term memory for the 10th time. So his name is, okay, I don't remember what his name is. It's like Chris Kyle or Chris Kelly. It's like two different white men names. Like, some super whitey.
In some order. Yeah, it's something really boring. And he's like the most lethal sniper in American history or something. Killed like 300 people and like everyone's obsessed. He's like the Michael Jordan of sniping or something. I don't know. And he's like a big deal. He like wrote a memoir and like discussed, I guess, his like PTSD, which like lasted for like 2 minutes. I don't even know. Like, he's fine. And spoiler alert, was literally like murdered by another like former.
Oh my
like,
god,
soldier
this is
that
dark.
He was, like, trying to help through PTSD. So that's like the full story. You go in knowing that, or maybe you didn't, because I didn't. So I was shocked by the ending. But anyway, he's like a famous sniper. Like, the movie opens with like this Iraqi mother and child like in his crosshairs literally, and like he sees the kid with like some sort of like projectile missile or like grenade or something, and it's like, is he going to take the shot? And it like flashes back immediately to his childhood and his like dad teaching him to like kill a deer, and it's like, boy, you are a wolf and like you're meant to save the world because most people are scared, and he like teaches him all this like bullshit about how you like can't leave your gun behind and stuff, which like comes back, it's like so boring. And then we snap back into the present or like the past depending on like whatever, and he's like about to like shoot this mother and child, and it's like, is he gonna do it, is he gonna do it? I'll tell you, he literally does it, shoots them, because he kills like 3,000 Iraqis every like 15 minutes. This movie is so crazy. It's literally so like steeped in weird, like kind of vague right-wing propaganda. And like, I don't know if it wants to be like military propaganda, but like Clint Eastwood is not an interesting enough filmmaker or like a sensitive enough filmmaker to take this topic on and like not have it come across like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it just kind of just becomes that.
Yeah.
It also, like, has this weird moment where he, like, sees the towers crumbling and, like, decides he wants to enlist in the army. And, like, the next shot is, like, him going on his first tour of Iraq, which is, like, not the narrative of our invasion of Iraq. Like, we invaded Afghanistan. Iraq was, like, a completely tangential occupation that was, like, just about weapons of mass destruction. Nobody in their right mind thinks Saddam Hussein had anything to do with the towers.
Right, absolutely. Right. Well, you know what, Rod? They all got brown skin, so whatever.
No, literally at one point he probably like shot someone who had like fallen in mud 3 seconds prior. I was like, I can't wait to shower. Like, I just feel so like dirty. It's like gets shot 3 seconds later. I can't risk it. Like someone just stepped out of the shower with like a towel on his head. Like I really should air dry this. Get shot like 2 seconds later. Some people are making fashion choices, beauty regimen, skincare. Heard of a mud mask? This movie goes there. But like the audacity of condensing an already misunderstood narrative is ridiculous. It's literally ridiculous. And especially like right now when we're like having this debate about like, is Selma a historically accurate like, you know, like this film can't be taken as fantasy. It can't be taken like this has to be a completely true representation. Meanwhile, Mayor of Carmel Valley, Clint Eastwood, literally just like omitted an entire 2-year portion of the U.S.'s engagement in the Middle East and just like made a drama about like this guy who's like a sniper and like goes through his drama. Like, fuck this movie. Like, I'm so over it. Like, are you joking? God, I was like shrieking during the whole thing. Someone next to me was really sniffling during it, and I want to like throw my popcorn and soda at him. Like, can you calm down? So I didn't love it. And literally, Sienna Miller plays his wife and is like a hysterical banshee the whole time. Like every time she calls him, she's like has news about their baby, and then like 2 seconds later, there's an explosion, and she's like, Chris, and is like crying, and it's like, girl, can you stop calling your man? He's in Iraq. Like, yeah, he's really busy.
Right.
Ugh, so extra. The whole movie is so extra, and it's like getting nominated for all these Oscars. And like, did you hear how much money it made?
Probably a lot. Is my guess.
Dude, it made like summer blockbuster money. It made like $200 million in like 2 weekends.
Yikes.
People are like treating this like it's an action movie. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Money talks people.
Right.
That's like real shitty. There's like people in Alabama who are treating this like it's the fucking Avengers or something. It's making so much money and it's getting nominated for all these Oscars. And I'm just like, this is pure garbage. Like, I will not.
Well,
like, I won't.
You just undermined every single one of our Alabamian fans.
Wait, that's been our key demographic so far. Janet, edit. Heard of it? This episode needs to be 20 minutes max. I want all of that gone.
But before, like, I remember seeing, like, a sneak preview, like, one of those teaser trailer things for this film, like, a while ago. I can't remember what I was seeing. But, like, you see, like, oh, directed by Clint Eastwood. And then you think, like, oh, what's the last thing I, like, remember Clint Eastwood being associated with? And then, like, the first thing that pops into your head is him yelling at an empty chair. You know what I'm saying?
So real. At the RNC.
Right. At the Republican National Convention, him yelling at an empty chair. And so at that point, it's kind of like, oh, man, like Clint Eastwood, he's losing it, kind of.
He's losing it.
He's losing it. I don't know.
That's such an important shadow over the film because it's either like, one, Clint Eastwood is a crackhead, or two, he's like a crazy right-wing freak.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it sounds like it's one of those things where it seems like it initially got a lot of like, oh man, this is a war movie for the ages, and then it's one of those things where it's kind of like gotten a lot of blowback recently.
Yeah, but not enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
right.
It has blowback, but only in the way that like everything kind of has blowback now. You know,
Right.
like you can't have anything that's sort of testy and not expect some sort of blowback. Like I want blowback. Like why is not everybody jumping on this movie for being historically inaccurate? Like why isn't that happening?
Yeah. Well, maybe
Is it about a white guy? Like what's going on?
I think probably this movie gets the benefit of the doubt because, correct me if I'm wrong, Selma is about the events Martin Luther King when during like the Bloody Sunday march. Have you seen it?
Yes, I have seen it. Do they call it Bloody Sunday? Maybe you're right. It's about the March to Selma for voting rights.
Right. And so I think I think people are more okay, at least like, I don't know, maybe it's like, you know, under like subtle racism in the most white people. But it's kind of like, you know, American Sniper. I don't really know anything about this guy, you know? So for random dude who doesn't know anything about American Sniper, most prolific killer in the history of the United States, going in, watching this movie, you're not really necessarily thinking about historical inaccuracies. Whereas with...
It's true. You're under the assumption that it's going to be just like the story of this guy.
Yeah, right. So...
No, it's true.
There's that. I mean, I definitely think that... I think the crazy part is when it goes from remembering the 9/11 to I feel bad because a terrorist group knocked down the Twin Towers and I'm in Iraq. That is kind of a very dangerous like thing to.
That's super dangerous.
It's very
especially
dangerous.
because, like, there's a good chance a lot of the public thinks that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
right.
It's a very murky narrative. Like, people just don't really... The average American, like, for the most part, probably, like, can't even point out where Afghanistan and Iraq are on a map.
Right.
So, like, those two places are the same place to them. And, like, this story is... Like, we know by now that we went... Like, not to make the Good Friends podcast too political, but I feel like most of our listeners probably know that we lied about why we went to Iraq, that there was no actual reason.
Yeah.
Is that controversial to say? Like,
well,
don't we know that by now?
There were reasons, but they probably weren't what they said they were, right?
They weren't the reasons we were told.
Right.
They weren't the reasons we were told. So, like, you can't make a movie that, like, pulls at an American's heartstrings by just lying. Do you know what I mean?
You can, and you can, and that's why Clint Eastwood was chosen to direct the movie, I'm sure. Or maybe, did he write it?
Sniped him.
Did he write the movie?
I don't know. He didn't. He didn't write it. Someone else adapted it based on a book.
Okay, yeah, right. So, I mean, and if there's someone who can do, like, sappy movie about, like, somehow making America seem like the underdog, probably Clint Eastwood is one of your top choices.
Right.
So...
Totally. He's just, like, all of his movies are just, like, so interested in the world being this, like, black and white place of, like, there's good and there's bad. And, like, you're either on the side of good or you're on the side of bad. Like, he just sees the world through this, like, totally basic binary. So, of course, he's gonna make some, like, movie like this. And, like, I don't know. I'm just so over it.
Yeah.
Can you hear how... I feel like I've been ranting. I'm so sorry. But it's just such garbage.
No.
The movie should literally be called American Garbage.
I think... Right. I mean, you wouldn't be nearly this mad if it wasn't so popular. I'm sure.
Yeah, totally. If no one saw it, like... Fucking, like, I don't know, whatever. What was the other one? Like, Letters to Iwo Jima that I think, like, 6 people saw. Maybe my grandfather and, like, 2 other people. I'd be like, okay, whatever. This movie's hot garbage, but also no one saw it. But, like, $200 million, all of these Oscars? Like, absolutely.
No, I mean, you're right. That's kind of dangerous.
But I will say this. Bradley Cooper is kind of unbelievable in it. He's so good.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe people kind of, I think a lot of times people get swept up in acting performances and almost like overlook what the actual content of the movie is. And that's probably why Foxcatcher got nominated for some, Academy Awards.
I want to divulge, I already divulged a spoiler about how he dies, but literally the movie doesn't even bother showing it.
Oh, him dying?
Yeah, him getting shot. The most cosmic irony, the movie just completely omits.
So does the movie end with him being like a happy, alive individual?
Sort of. It's hard. Should I say?
Happily ever after?
Yeah, actually, I'm going to spoil it because I want no one to see it. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, it literally ends with Sienna Miller, the hysterical banshee that is his wife, closing the door as he's, like, getting in a truck with one of the former soldiers that he's going to, like, go on a drive to help. And, like, the soldier just, like, looks really intense. And, like, Sienna Miller, the banshee, is like, bye, Chris, and, like, is, like, unsure in her eyes. Like, as she closes the door, it, like, fades to black, and then, like, the title card comes up, and it's, like, Chris Kyle / Chris Kelly or whatever, like, got shot, like, 25 minutes later by, like, a PTSD soldier. Like, literally. And it's, like, okay. And then immediately it goes to, like, grainy, real footage of his funeral at, like, the Texas, like, Superdome or something, and it's, like, directed by Clint Eastwood, and it's, like, overlaid on top of the, like, archival footage of his real funeral. And I was like,
Yeah.
Like, you're telling, like, if you're a real artist, Clint, because I know Clint Eastwood listens to this podcast, if you're a real artist, then you would have the balls to show the brutality of that irony.
Right.
That the most lethal sniper was killed with a sniper by a former sniper.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, the last shot should be him in a crosshairs of a gun.
Right.
But that's just me.
Right. Maybe it would be funny if you went on to direct, like, a lot of war movies.
Oh my God.
And then it was just all locker room footage.
It starts with, like, a landscape of Iraq with a soldier, and then immediately, this is anonymous. And Tom Brady eating kettle chips, whipping someone with a towel.
Right. Right.
Critics are calling it, why is there more locker room footage from the Patriots locker room in the middle of this war movie?
See, yeah, my idea would be you have locker room footage of, like, the army base.
Oh, good call.
Yeah.
You know everyone's hooking up. That was the other thing that I was disappointed in American Sniper. It doesn't show any of the soldiers hooking up.
Was there, like, a lot of, like, kind of underlying gay tension in the movie?
Not even, because they're all talking about going back to their wives, and I was like, you guys are all hooking up. Screaming. The guy was, like, shoveling, like, sniffling next to me. I wanted to, like, turn around and be like, stop crying, they're all hooking up. One of the guys, like, talking about proposing to his wife and, like, talking about how he, like, found a ring in Iraq, and, like, Bradley Cooper's like, was it a blood diamond? And he's like, ha 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 ha, I'm gonna tell her I got it from Zales. And I was like, ha 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 ha, you guys blew each other 20 minutes ago. My American Sniper. So over it. So yeah, every listener here, definitely don't go see it. Instead, just, like, go to Google Image, get a picture of a sniper, play Whitney Houston's Star Spangled Banner over it, and, like, call it a day.
And then imagine some gay military theme porn.
Yeah, and then in the next tab, have gay military themed porn. And then in the next tab, go to lockerroomfootage.net.
Right.
And give me 8 years. Janet,
set that website up.
Janet, buy the domain.
Good. We have that settled.
I like to snipe her, if you know what I mean. So yeah, that's American Sniper.
Sounds like garbage.
Sounds like, yeah, Clint Eastwood's hot garbage.
Yeah.
That was a rant we went on. 100%.
That was a rant.
Screaming.
That was
for the last
screaming.
few minutes.
Well, wow.
It happens.
How do you feel? Do you feel better? You had that pent up.
It's the first time I've really talked about it.
Okay.
You're getting it. The good friends are getting it.
Okay.
It feels like I got a lot off of my chest. I know Clint Eastwood is, like, an, adamant listener of the Good Friends podcast, so I hope that he's okay taking constructive criticism.
Have you heard that story about when he, like, ran for the mayor of Carmel? His platform was because, like, he wanted ice cream parlors back in Carmel.
Yeah.
Like, that was his whole platform. He just wanted ice cream parlors. Are you kidding me?
Like, how is that the same person who directed American Sniper?
This isn't America. The America I knew has ice cream parlors.
Oh, man. And people in the town being like,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Definitely. He went 2 terms as mayor.
Yeah. Taxes? What? Yeah. Traffic laws? I don't know. School districts? Who cares?
Like, what are those?
Yeah.
Ice cream?
Me wanty ice cream.
I'm Clint Eastwood, and me want ice cream. His second term was literally running on the strength of his successful ice cream term. Like, literally. He became mayor again because he kept the parlors open. He was like, remember what I did last time? I'm going to keep doing it. Me, like. And then the crowd was like, ice cream! And then he was like, he shot every single person in Carmel.
Remember when you didn't have ice cream?
Yes! I remember! And someone crying in the front.
Right.
Like, tell the story. Before you came, no crying. That's a promo from when he ran as mayor a second time.
Right.
I've been to Carmel. I literally went on a driving tour of the mansions with my parents. I was like, why am I here?
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful town.
It's beautiful, but I'm just observing the wealth.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Really rich, white, old neighborhood. I mean, it's like rich, white, old people. It's who live there.
It really is. And you know that all of those people literally have no taste, and all of their bathrooms are filled with things that are like, beach that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and living rooms you can't touch.
Yeah, totally. Like, this is our dining room. No one goes in there. No one goes in there.
Right.
No one goes in there. Like, pulling everyone away.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of seashell adorned toilet seats. Like, such garbage. Gorgeous houses with hideous interiors. That's what I call Carmel.
All right. All right.
Good mood in this podcast. This week is a happy one. Am I Clint Eastwood? I'm so cranky today. Pissed.
Yeah, we can blame Janet somehow. But you know what we actually legitimately can blame Janet for?
Hit it.
The fact that we don't have any fucking listener emails to answer.
Not a one.
Janet?
Listeners, we could blame you, but it's not your fault.
No, it's not.
You're not to blame. But Janet, hey, remember us?
Janet?
It's Jack and Ron.
Janet, if you were taking up less time filling up our news feeds with stories about the New York Humans guy, and more time getting our email address out there, goodfriendspodcast@gmail.com, maybe we'd have a question to answer.
Mm-hmm. How many times have I called you at 4 a.m. and said, get in touch with Banksy, have him plaster our emails all over brick walls? And you've told me repeatedly, no one knows who Banksy is. I can't get in touch with Banksy. That's a ridiculous request. And it's like, okay, enough knows. How about a okay? How about a yes, I'll try?
Less stories about how poop does something beneficial for us, and more emails, Janet.
Yeah. Less stories of how poop does things, and more footage of you eating it. That's a separate issue, but something I've been asking for a long time.
Don't you feel like Janet posts at least one story a day on our Facebook about how poop is like being injected into our faces and like curing menopause or something?
It's more problematic that she's posting this much stuff about poop, or that there's this much poop-related news content on a daily basis.
I think she searches for it specifically.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. So
it's fucked up. She'll burn for this.
Janet, listeners, you have Janet to blame. We blame Janet daily. And we sincerely...
You should too.
Yeah, you should too. We sincerely apologize.
We apologize. But, if you want to take a little bit of the blame, just go ahead and shoot us some questions.
Right.
Let's get that email up there.
Good Friends
but
Podcast.
I think it's time for Devil Tongue of the Week.
Yeah, Devil Tongue of the Week.
So, Devil Tongue of the Week this week goes to, weather?
You're giving it to weather. I'm giving it to the idiot weather broadcasters of the Northeast.
Yes. Much better. Much, much better. Because this week was the worst blizzard since, 1808 or something.
Psych.
Psych, I've never been hotter. Psych, I'm in shorts.
Didn't you? So it was supposed to be the worst blizzard of the past 20 years, 30 years, something like that.
Everyone was posting pictures from the 1800s, get ready for something worse. It was old timey Victorian ladies walking around old New York covered in snow and literally not even close.
So right, when did you realize that it was a farce? because I know that night we had talked. I had told you not to wear just regular shoes. I said wear boots, wear a scarf.
You did tell me to wear boots, which was very sweet. Though in retrospect, I'm pissed off because I had a whole outfit designed for the low-hanging Doc Martens that I got for Christmas. So I'm not going to hold you accountable personally, but I don't know. There was a fashion choice that was also lost that night. But I think I noticed that the blizzard was going to happen when it was around 4 a.m. and I realized the blizzard hadn't happened.
Right.
Pissed
Right.
off. I was pissed off.
Right.
There was snow, but guess what? It's January. I expect it. I expect it. And the same thing happened when I was in California, and it was like the worst monsoon in California history. And it was literally like pretty rainy, but like it was okay. Like we were all okay. So weather needs to chill.
So it wasn't like there wasn't. I'm disappointed. It's like people kind of were hunkered down. There was like a run on the kale market. I saw
Oh my god, yeah, did you see that?
people were fighting over the fresh produce at Whole Foods like it was going out of style. And now all these idiots are stuck with extra kale.
Yeah. This girl bought so many snacks. I mean, like, you can never have too many snacks, but I didn't really need the guacamole-infused tortilla chips that I bought.
Right.
Okay, I didn't need them.
Did you
I acted in panic.
Did you see all those stories about how like the uptick in casual encounter posts on Craigslist went up during the
Oh my
snowstorm?
god. Blizzard boyfriend?
Yeah.
Yes, I did. And I'm so obsessed. That is so funny. Did people think we had to repopulate the earth? Like, what was that about?
It's kind of like one of those things where I swear to God, people just like blizzards because it's an excuse to like stay inside and get drunk, and like
True.
just stay inside and just it's like you have no obligation to go outside, and then you're expected to stay inside, and then you kind of tell yourself like if I go outside I'll die, so let me take my clothes off and post an ad on Craigslist.
Totally, which I did to no hits, but that's a whole other issue.
Right.
We'll talk about that another time.
Right.
I had a dirty mop on my head and a seductively placed towel and said, please,
Right.
nothing.
Right.
Nothing. So that's another disappointment that came from the blizzard.
Right.
But I know, and I was like kind of pissed off the next day because I suddenly felt the pressure to like be productive because it like wasn't a real blizzard. So I was like, okay, so I guess I like can't really revel in blizzardry. Or
I know.
whatever,
You can't use the blizzard as an excuse if it's not really a blizzard.
Right, I couldn't. I was like, okay, so I guess I'll start sending emails. Everyone's probably literally working from home like really diligently because they were not even distracted by snow. It wasn't even snowing the next day. There was just snow from the day before.
Terrible.
I'm pissed off. So the weather industrial complex needs to take it down a notch.
Right. Yeah.
Like who is running Weather's social media presence?
The weather
Still in it.
The weather industry. Devil tongue of the week.
Devil tongue of the week. Clint probably runs it.
Blah, blah, blah. Cool.
Devil tongued out. All right, bud. Good. Fran. Oh no, week. Bang bang dang dang.
I'll go first. Do you want me to go first? Yeah, mine is my good friend of the week is the running back for the Seattle Seahawks. His name's Marshawn Lynch. He's an Oakland native. He went to Cal. And this whole week, all the football players are like mandated to get up and talk in front of the media and kind of just be dumb. He isn't about that life.
Oh?
So he's been doing this thing where he just gives one answer for every single question that's asked him. And he's obligated to go out there because if he doesn't face reporters, the NFL fines guys like $50,000 or whatever. And if he hadn't gone out there, he would have if the Super Bowl media day was the other day. So if he wasn't out there, he was going to get like a 6-figure fine. So he went out there and every single question that was asked of him, he just gave the answer, I'm here so I don't get fined.
Oh my god, he did not. Is there footage of this?
Absolutely there is.
I'm loving football this season. Where have I been? Everything is like literally like the Real Housewives. It's so dramatic.
I know. It's been crazy.
It's a diva move.
So,
I love that way. That's great. I can't believe you get fined 6 figures. It's not your job to be a PR person.
Yeah, but it's kind of like him especially. It's been this running issue for them all year where he doesn't make himself available to the media. And then when he is available to the media, he kind of just says like, hey, that was a really great question. Thanks for asking. And then he'll just say that for an entire interview.
Oh my god, vicious. That's great.
So we'll link a supercut of him saying his crazy answers to the Tumblr.
Oh my god, hell yeah. Does that exist?
Yeah, yeah.
He's playing a game out of the Monique playbook because Monique didn't do any of the required political press junket shit for the Academy Awards a few years ago, and she still won. And she literally opened her speech with, "I want to thank the Academy for awarding the work." And she said that.
Oh yeah. Oh, for Precious.
Yes, based on the novel Pushed by Sapphire. She didn't do any of the press and still won. So you know what? This dude is doing the Monique play, and more people need to do the Monique play.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I will be also posting a video to Monique's Oscar speech right below. So look for that, fans.
Did you know that the head coach of the Seahawks went to Redwood High School?
Is that true?
It's
Brent,
true.
shout out?
Right. But you know how I feel about Redwood graduates, right?
No, what is it?
Redwood, Deadwood, rot.
Oh, wow. Okay, that was... All right, I'm going to sidestep that one and just go right to my good friend of the week, which is, fittingly enough, considering yours, mine is literally Kim Kardashian.
Oh, God.
Because she gave actually a really great... So have you been following this, like, weird theory that, like, Bruce Jenner's potentially transitioning into becoming a woman?
Yeah.
Okay, so she went on Entertainment Tonight to, like, advertise her, like, T-Mobile commercial that's, like, airing during the Super Bowl or something. Like, literally doing promotions for a commercial. I want to kill myself. But anyway, they asked her about this, and she gave a very dignified and very interesting response where she was like, you know, this is Bruce's journey. We're supporting him through everything. We're extremely happy for him. He's never been happier, and we're just going to let him tell his story whenever he's ready. Like, it's not our place to tell each other stories. And, like, gave an answer that was, one, very respectable because I love that, and two, like, sort of hints that these rumors might be true, which is, like, really crazy, because I really just thought it was, like, tabloid garbage juice.
So crazy.
So my good friend of the week is Kim Kardashian for tantalizing my gossip taste buds while also doing it respectfully, because if Bruce Jenner is transitioning, one, that would be so awesome because that would be such a major person to have publicly, you know, transition.
Right.
You know, because, like, the Kardashian reach is, like, so major.
Well, that
so
and he's an Olympic hero for a lot of people.
And he's an Olympic hero. Yeah, he, like, represents a certain type of American, and he's, like, super famous by himself, and he's, like, now associated with this, you know, relatively superficial celebrity empire. But, like, yeah, the reach of the Kardashians is huge, and if you saw someone transitioning, like, within the Kardashian, like, narrative, like, that's, like, pretty major. So props to her for, like, in theory, maybe supporting her maybe transitioning stepfather, but also
ex-stepfather.
Well, ex-stepfather, you're so right. But that's another part of it. It's like, is that why they divorced? I have so many questions. I won't make this into, like, a, like, tell me more thing, because, like, maybe it's, like, a really private affair. But if it's true, good on you, Kim.
So crazy. Do you think he, like, delayed his, if he's getting transitioned, do you think he delayed it because they were making so much money off this TV show?
Oh my god, and what? Chris was like, you can't do something that would, like, be deemed controversial, like, while we're in the middle of this.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a really cynical version that I think a lot of people will probably throw out there if it turns out he is. If, like, that becomes confirmed. Everyone blames Kris Jenner for everything. I don't know. I don't necessarily think so. I don't think that would have necessarily happened. I also really feel like he probably would have, like, discovered it later in life and, like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't necessarily think that. But that would be awesome. If he is transitioning, props to him for discovering that part of himself at any time in his life. That's really great.
Did you see the In Touch magazine where it, like, had the crappy Photoshop of, like, the lipstick on him?
Okay, yeah. Devil Tongue of the Week, like, 2.0 goes to literally that Photoshop job. It's like, oh my god. It looks literally like someone took a picture of Bruce Jenner and JonBenet Ramsey and did a, like, what would our kid look like?
Right.
Mesh.
One of the old school, like, Conan celebrity mashup photos.
Yes, totally. His mouth literally looked like it was the Conan, like, celebrity mouth talker thing.
What are we working on for the next week? We gotta get more email questions. goodfriendspodcast@gmail.com. We gotta
goodfriendspodcast@gmail.com.
What else do we have to do?
Keep an eye out for that Tumblr. Follow it. Like us on Facebook. Just give us, like, the full social media hand job situation. Like,
yeah.
I just want to feel it from here.
Right. Exactly. And yeah, I don't know. You guys gotta understand that we're working with Janet Alexander. So, you know, just give us the benefit of the doubt.
Look, you got to bring your expectations down 16 notches because we're literally working for a gorilla in a wig, okay? So
Oh my God.
I need you to just really let us, get by with the bare minimum here.
Oh my
But we're
God.
trying to do better.
So, but Janet, thanks so much. You're such a big help.
We literally love you. We couldn't do this podcast without you. You're the dream producer. I cannot believe you're actually an animal wearing a wig. It's unbelievable what you have managed to do. But as usual, get to work.
Give a little time for the child within you. Don't be afraid to be young and free. Undo the locks and throw away the keys and take off your shoes and socks and run you.